Hey guys, Prof Sales coming at you with another video, and today's video is about how to choose an accountant for your business, specifically an e-commerce business. So I've put together some questions that I think you need to keep in mind when you first meet with someone that you're thinking about hiring as your accountant. I think these questions are not an exhaustive list of all the questions you could consider, but I think you need to for sure have these 7 questions in mind when you talk to your accountant. So let's get right to it. The first question I would ask a prospective accountant is, what kind of businesses have you worked with in the past? This is important, guys, because if you're an e-commerce reseller, you've got specific needs that your business is going to have that are different from other types of businesses. So if an accountant has never worked with your specific field of businesses, your sector, they're not as likely to be as up on the specific issues that sector has. They're not going to be as knowledgeable about tax law and ways to maximize your deductions and things that will help your business grow. It doesn't mean you will necessarily disqualify the accountant, but you need to find out if they are knowledgeable about the sector that you are in. The second question I have is, what is their availability as an accountant? If they're going to be available only specific times of the year, only specific times of the day, that may limit your ability to utilize them to your full advantage. So keep that in mind. You want to know what times of the year they're available. Some accountants work more tax season, obviously, and then take more time off after that. You're going to need an accountant most likely year-round, every quarter, every month. So you need to keep in mind what their availability is. The third question I have for them is billing. This is really, the elephant in the room when you're talking to someone about professional services, but you need to find out how they bill, what they bill for, and what it's like, what it's going to look like in terms of how much you're going to pay this person on a monthly basis or quarterly or yearly, given the different services you're going to need from them. So billing is very, very important. You should probably get it out of the way right up front so there's no surprises down the road. The fourth tip I have, or the fourth question, is communication. How are they going to communicate with you? Are they going to communicate through email, primarily through telephone calls? Are you going to be able to send things to them back and forth in terms of your bank account statements, or if you're using like QuickBooks or something like that, are you going to be able to exchange files with them? It's very important to talk about how you're going to communicate with this person, because that kind of delineates exactly how you're going to be able to utilize their services. Obviously, if you can get communication to them very quickly, then they can make faster decisions with the information you provide them. So communication is very important. The fifth question I have is outsourcing. Do they outsource the work? And this kind of goes back to communication. A lot of accounting firms will outsource things like tax preparation, even to overseas firms. There's nothing really wrong with outsourcing, but you need to know that in case there's a question about something you've provided, or you need to address something, maybe the person who has that information is not here locally or here in the United States, for instance, and that may slow down the amount of time that it takes to get things done or rectified. So keep in mind, communication is very important, but also where the communication is going to and who's going to be handling your records and your business needs. The sixth tip I have is, you want to ask this person, what kind of advice can you offer to help me with my business? Because accountants have a lot of information, a lot of experience about how to utilize the tax laws to your advantage, how to maximize your deductions, how to avoid getting in trouble with the IRS or state governments. And you're going to need this information. This is what you're paying these people for. They're not just there to crunch numbers and fill out tax forms. You also can use them as a business advisor, and lots of accountants offer this kind of service. It doesn't mean they're going to tell you how to run your business, but from a tax preparation standpoint, from a payroll standpoint, if you have employees, they can give you all kinds of tips and tricks that will help you run your business more efficiently and minimize the amount of taxes that you have to pay every year. And the last tip I have is, what training do you offer to help me set up my books? Lots of accountants these days use like QuickBooks online, for instance, and they can help you set up your books for your business. Now, maybe you've already set up your books, and if you have, that's fine. but you may need to go back and reconfigure some things just so that you can make it easier for your tax preparation, so you can make it easier for payroll, whatever your specific issues are. Accountants are really good at being able to help you set up your books in a way that makes sense for your business. Often these people are trained on specific software platforms, so you can utilize their knowledge to set up those software packages for your specific needs and save yourself a lot of time and trouble from going out and trying to learn all that information on your own. So take advantage of their expertise with these software packages. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Those were 7 tips that I had on questions and things you need to consider when you're considering accounting for your e-commerce business. But really, they could apply for any business, any type of business that you wanted to take to another level and start using accounting services and so on. There's obviously a lot more that you could ask this person. There's plenty of other subjects out there, but I feel like you need to address those 7 with an accountant pretty early on in the relationship to find out if it's going to be a good fit for you or not. All right, everyone, so if you liked this information, please leave me a like down below, hit the like button, or leave me a comment and a question. I'll try to answer if I can. And consider subscribing to Prof Sales so you can get notified every time I put out a new video and you won't have to go searching for it. All right, guys, so this is Prof Sales saying good sales to you.